Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Patristic Faith discussion and Q&A stream. It's weird. Do you remember the last time that I did the Patristic Faith Q&A and discussion stream? So I went in and found I was playing royalty-free music, just as kind of an intro music to that funny meme, the Patristic Faith meme. And wouldn't you know, I got a copyright warning. So, that stream cannot be monetized. I don't get it. So when you go onto YouTube, just because it says royalty free doesn't mean that it's royalty free. Interesting, isn't it? What can I do? It says view all actions. Listen, crazy. And I got the wrong. Let me see. Let me just check again to see that I deceived myself into thinking. Maybe I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's see. Where's history? History. All right. 1 second. '80s synthwood playlist, royalty-free, copy safe music. So I'm not crazy. Well, maybe I am, but not about this. Has anybody else had this problem before? Let's see if anybody makes some comments. I guess I could dispute it. Not like I probably make much from ads or something on. So it is. It has been an issue. All right. But look. Just so you know. I'm not making this up. Royalty-free, copy safe music. Oh, maybe I should read that. When using my music on YouTube, the credit must be placed in the description. Okay. Well, there's my mistake, is I didn't read. I just read that. Okay, I made a mistake. That's all right. Also, as you mentioned, one of you mentioned this Friday, big news. here. Cameron, thank you. With Capturing Christianity, we'll be hosting a high-level debate, a formal debate. It's been a while since I've done, just being so busy with my work, done an actual debate, let alone a formal debate, and with notable scholars too. So I give a shout out to Dr. Trent Doherty at Baylor, Roman Catholic philosopher, philosophy of language epistemologist at Baylor, and then also Dr. Christopher Tomasłowski, also one of the leading Thomistic philosophers. And I've had, if you remember, a couple years ago, Dr. Christopher Tomasłowski and I having a discussion about essence energies. And so both excellent scholars. I can't think of better opponents in terms of a formal debate. This is a 2-on-2. Jay Dyer and myself versus Dr. Trent Doherty and Dr. Christopher Tomasłowski over the recent kind of kick up and controversy about whether Muslims and Christians worship the same God. And obviously, Dr. Trent Doherty and Dr. Christopher Tomasłowski will be arguing in the affirmative, and Jay Dyer and I will be arguing in the negative. I don't want to give kind of any spoilers. I know a lot of people been, when I posted this, have been asking, trying to get into kind of debates on Twitter, like, look, just save it. I know all the arguments, and I don't want to ruin the excitement and the joys of what this debate will be. Don't want to give any spoilers, so you can wait to see what the arguments are on both sides this Friday. That is 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain Standard, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you can find that. I'll put the link in for you, but that's the big kind of news for this week. I do have to say that the AI pictures are kind of funny. Somebody had posted I was like, where did they get that picture of me? I was laughing at some of the people in the chat. Where was it? Where was it about me? My picture. I thought it was hilarious. It was something like Father Deacon looks like he's seen some stuff in life. I can't even find it. Where is it? Maybe somebody deleted it. I thought it was hilarious. No. No, I can't find it. These AI images, why can't people just look? This has come up a lot too. Why don't we have Muslims on? The question isn't, I mean, you guys have to understand how debates and debate topics work. The question is not what Muslims believe. Regardless of what Islam and Muslims believe, the question is whether their God's the same God as the Christian God and whether we worship the same God. So it doesn't matter what the Muslims actually believe. I don't know why that's so hard for people to get. Philosophically, it's possible that you could believe one thing and still be, that you could believe, hey, we're not talking about the same thing, and it still be possible that that you're mistaken. So you simply believing something to be true doesn't make it to actually be true. That's why Dr. Trent Dortry and Dr. Christopher Tomaswowski are going to be arguing that position. So I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. That's why we don't need to get a Muslim on. Even though I do like Dr. Khalil. He's a good guy. I think he comes out of the Sufi tradition. So he's a good guy and respectful, and I don't have any problems with that, but it's just not relevant to the actual topic. Also, drives me crazy is, are there William Albright fanboys or something? There's obviously a reason that Jay does not want to debate William Albright. Because of personal issues. And so that's not running from a debate. If you don't get along well with somebody and you've had a history, you're not obligated to debate. That's not running. I mean, I wouldn't do, like, if I had beef and history with somebody, just because they challenged me to a debate wouldn't mean that I would. I mean, part of that too is you want to keep your head and cool in a debate. You know, if there's been personal attacks and issues, it's wise on both sides not to debate the person, because it would just end up in, you'd lose, you more likely would probably lose your cool with the issue. Furthermore, I have nothing but, respect for these two professors and scholars. They're much better scholars and opponents in a debate than William Albright. So if you have plenty of people to debate, why do you have to debate William Albright? It just seems like fanboy stuff. I don't get it. So that is Friday. There it is. I put the link in the description. And off to the races we go. Yeah, there's, like I said, Zane, there's been history before. Like, you're not obligated, like, there's a lot of factors why somebody might consider to debate somebody or not. You're not obligated. It's not running. And I wouldn't even accuse people on the other side from running because of various circumstances. So I give the person the benefit of the doubt. It's just silly stuff. Yeah, look like a general during the Civil War. I don't dislike the photo. What's going on? Somebody call me. I'm getting weird calls and message. It's probably your representative, Trent Dortry, with a Town hall call. How much you want to bet? Oh, no. It's my orthopedic appointment tomorrow. That's weird. Why did I think it was at 10 o'clock? It's at 9. 10. Not 10:09. Things are going well with the foot. Still a bit. I still have kind of a limp. Like, it doesn't hurt when I walk. I don't know if it's just I got used to kind of limping and walking weird, but I find that it's a bit tight sometimes. It does still swell up. Anyways, pray for me. Going in tomorrow to the orthopedic, have a conversation. Dell donates $2. Hey, have you read about William Wright? He's right. No, I have not. I have not, but thank you for the super chat. Let's see if we have any more to give some shout outs. Check out our sponsor from Montanica, Punks and Monks. The last true rebellion. Isn't that cool? So, shout out to Punks and Monks. Thank you so much for sponsoring the comment. Thank you for being with us. And Dave the Philippian donates our regular contributor $10. Thank you so much. Who is William Reich? I don't even know. I'm going to look it up so I can learn something today. Austrian doctor of medicine and psychoanalysis. He's a Freudian? All right, there he's got a strike against him. Let's see. Moved to Oslo, Norway? Ooh. Interesting. Not only is it Freudian, he's part of the critical theorists, and was assistant professor at the New School of Social Research. So why would you be... Oh, he tried to reconcile psychoanalysis with more, like... Yeah, he's a Frankfurt School. Dude, why would you be... That's all I need to know. Why would you be advocating... Interesting. He advocates patriarchal societies result in order and structure while we... Yet, he's a critical theory. Like, that's... Doesn't seem kind of contradictory? Knowing what critical theory actually is? Like, it would seem that he... would want to critique that. What happened to Father Deacon? He went AI. They turned Father Deacon and INS into an AI picture is what happened. Oh, here's something that came up today. It was kind of interesting. Let's talk about social etiquette. Let's teach some classes in social etiquette. I like being formal and respectful, even to those that I disagree with, unless they start becoming disrespectful. and I have a real kind of formalism. And I don't know if that's just being an academic, but I like, as Dells points out, um, hierarchy and kind of order and things like that. Um, I respect certain, even if I disagree or don't like a company, or I still acknowledge and respect titles and distinctions and orders and stuff like that. So when addressing somebody um, in academia as a professor, if they have a PhD, I address them as doctor. Clergy, I address them by their clergy titles. And even though I obviously disagree with Roman Catholics, whether I'm writing a letter or addressing, I address their clergy by their titles, just to be respectful. It doesn't mean that I agree, like, are their sacraments legitimate? Like, just being respectful. It's being formal. I address, even though I'm really good friends with the president of Carroll College, I don't address him by his first name, but I address him as President John Seck. I, call me old-fashioned. Whatever. That's... So, with that being said, if you're writing somebody an email, or you're asking somebody a question, I do like titles and being respectful. So many people, we could do a whole class on how to write an email. For example, how, just say, hey, what's up? Dear research committee, dear Dr. Trent Dortry, I thank you for your work and blah blah blah, so on and so on, respectfully, and then sign your name. Okay, it has nothing to do with me. I don't think I'm special. I think offices and titles are important. It's a good order, both in the church, in academia, and as well, and the corporate world as well. So, I always tell this joke. This kid must have been like 14 years old. This was many years ago, like 5 years ago. Your arguments are SHIT. Come debate me, bruh. I'm like, what? And so I actually took the time to respond. Hey, if you want to actually have a conversation with it, it's probably best not to start with a swear word and insult the person. If you want to debate, probably best not to, be respectful even if you disagree with them. And don't insult them and use swear words. Maybe that's the kid writes back, ha ha ha, no, uses more swear word, and I'm just like, all right, you do you then. Like, whatever. I mean, think about it, when we're doing something, we always have to kind of remind ourselves, like, what is my end goal here? Do you want to have a conversation or a debate with the person? Then maybe use language that would not turn them off, and language that would encourage somebody to have an actual conversation with you. Just, shocking, isn't it? So, somebody that addresses me I let my wife and my close friends address me by my first name. That's not because I think I'm special. That's again because I I desire kind of order and hierarchy, and I think that's virtuous, and I think it brings good order and civility in society. So here, let me give you an example of if you have some goal in mind and want to accomplish it, this is what you don't do. Yeah, manner. It's just Noah Strong donates $20. Thank you so much. Check out William Wright's Cloudbuster technology. Hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's an interesting question. I wouldn't call these weird kind of Protestant sects like. I would say pastor, most of them. It was Anglican, I'd probably address them as father. But not like, yes, weird Protestant like Bishop Tilda Swinton. Like, I probably wouldn't. Um, but think about this. We have a chaplain on. I have a good relationship um, with the priest and the bishop, the Roman Catholic priest and bishop here in Helena in the diocese at the cathedral. Of course, I don't agree with their like. I'm not an ecumen. It doesn't. It just means I'm respectful. Um, they support me. They've been really kind to me. Uh, like, why insult them? Just because it's like, of course they know I don't agree with their theology. Um, but again, can you be friends with somebody of another religion? Can you be respect? Of course you can. Unless they give you some reason to not be respectful of them. Like, I think you should. I would address, the Father Tyler. I think it would be extremely the chaplain that was here. I can't remember the new chaplain now. Forgive me, but I think it'd be extremely rude and offensive if I was like, "Hey, Tyler," and that doesn't foster a kind of mutual respect for the offices in the Orthodox Church, because then they would just be like Ananias. Hey, Ananias. I do. My students are really good. They've asked me like, well, what should we call you? And I said, well, look, we're not in a church service or anything like that. You guys aren't Orthodox. Most of them aren't. As a professor in an academic setting, to be respectful, you say Dr. Sorm. So you don't have to call me Father Ananias or Father Deacon Ananias. If you want to, that's fine. So I do let that out, like let the students know that. But if you want to have a conversation or engage with me or debate, here's what you don't do. Let's look at this gentleman. Ananias, do you guys ever address Ishmael or not? My Father Ananias is my name, not Ananias. The term father is not doctor, so why don't you address me as Dr. Sorm then? That's an interesting. So you're saying you don't respect. So it's not me, it's the office. Like I said, that doesn't mean you have to agree with orthodoxy any more that when I address Father Tyler or the Bishop of Helena by Bishop of the Roman Catholic Church, Bishop Vedder, that I'm saying I agree with their theology. So yeah, I personally use those terms to be respectful and civil. This is wrong. It's not earned through the merits. If you're writing a letter to somebody, you use those titles. Now, yes, father and doctor are not the same in terms of legal kind of status and implications and stuff like that. Sometimes it may be. I grant that. You are neither my discipleship guide nor my spiritual father. So, well, by that term, so this Roman Catholic right here, so you don't even call your own Roman Catholic priest father by that same line because they're not your disciples. They're the guides. If you don't know them, and they're certainly not your spiritual father. So, I mean, how ridiculous is this? You're not father to me. That should be, okay. Oh, I'm not your son. Like, again, it's the same reason why I would address a Roman Catholic or an Anglican by their clerical title is civility and just being respectful. You don't have to. I just laugh. I mean, whatever, dude. This just shows, are you just trying to stir stuff up? No, why would I answer you? I don't deny your office. I don't need to be called father. And again, yes, technically speaking, I view Roman Catholics as a heretical schismatic sect that broke off from Orthodoxy. Do I have to call? No. So you're going to be insulting and uncivil and then expect, oh, I don't get an answer? No, you don't get an answer. So this is some practical, kind of pragmatic etiquette. If you want something, there's a certain kind of way you go about. So I found that was kind of interesting, just kind of an interesting topic to discuss. But no, you do not get an answer. Do I owe you an answer for being rude and disrespectful? That's an interesting thing, too. If somebody's a doctor, a professor, is it disrespectful to call them Mr.? I would never use Mr. if somebody was a professor, no matter what their position or who they were. So I think even that might not be appropriate. I think Peter's right. The lack of respect, yeah, it's just uncivilities that leads to kind of a breakdown of society. Should I block them? I just muted them, but the other thing too is just, texting in general, kind of social media, the kind of breakdown of informalities, not to mention grammar too, probably could be a factor. Yeah, people used to walk around in suit. Exactly. People are walking around in pajama bottoms now. Let me see if we have more super chats. So we got Dave, Dell, and Noah. I read those. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lamont, that's a good point too. It is really about natural theology, so I'll be critiquing that as I have before. I'll be primarily focusing on philosophy, language, and epistemology, and the critique of natural theology and theories of reference when it comes to God. So it's almost as if Dr. Trent Dortry and I are kind of matched up. Jay will be focusing kind of more on the papal documents and their theology, and the kind of contradictions and flaws there, as well as kind of defending against the kind of Reddit tier. I don't think Dr. Trent Dortry and Christopher, they're going to present these arguments. I don't know. I respect them and their work, so, but I did see, let's see, I think I want to give that guy a block, just to irritate him. If you give me salt and sass, I'm going to give it right back, or I'll block you. How about that? I'm respectful until you start using fighting words and give me sass. Like, I ain't got time for it. I don't owe you anything. So, my foot's a bit sore today. Guess what I get to do today? Visit Costco, get my groceries. My wife and I joke, like, I talk to her by singing in a Creed voice. Hey, sweetheart, when I'm going to Costco, yeah. Oh. All right, let's vote on it. I'm not an advocate for democracy, but sometimes I do like to have. It's not a democracy. You are my chat board. You're the Patristic chat board. What say you? Should we block this dude? Okay. Plus, it's fun. It helps me get to know you. And then, it helps alleviate, then I have deniability. It helps alleviate my responsibility, like, the council voted on it in the chat. All right. What's my diet looking like, Father? It's been a long time. It's probably been 4 or 5 years since I've been on carnivore. I just use that, my wife and I, for healing certain things, issues, health issues that we had. There was never a push to that to be a permanent diet. I wouldn't say I'm fully keto. I'm what we call low carb. I certainly don't have any sugars in my diet. Try to kind of more focus, on low carb, high protein, fat, but not not so low that it would be keto. And just kind of focus on macros. And yeah, no seed oils. Eat kind of organic. That's where I'm at. But there's something I was going to say about that. I can't remember. Typically during the fast, I try to eat obviously less when the apostles fast and kind of do intermittent fasting. Keep in mind too with that, the intermittent fasting is not always beneficial for everybody. It's particularly hard hormonally on women. Men can do intermittent fasting a lot easier, but that's typically where I'm at. All right, let's do. Oh wait, how do I? Let me do the poll. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. This guy's got almost as many followers as me. Who is this guy, anyways? And why is he following me? I don't mean to be paranoid, but I always find that interesting that people who are disrespectful and obviously hate you follow, like, this is what I'm talking about. I brought this up when, remember we had some transformer, mentally unstable person in here trying to convince us that mental illness is not a mental illness, right? As the person admits, they're on medications and all these different things. Like, what's your end game? Like, what? I just like to ask a lot of people that. What's the whole goal here? What do you think you're going to accomplish? Let's talk about time management. Don't you think this is just a waste of time? Like, don't you have better things that... Or your goal is just to create chaos. I think that's often... What's certainly not, you're not going to win the person over to your side. Certainly being disrespectful. I'm not entitled to... I don't think I'm special or anything that you have to address me. Like I said... It's more general civility and order in society. That it's like, if you're going to be a tard and you can't, nobody owes you a response if you can't have just some basic social etiquette and formalities with. So what's your end goal, dude? End game. What's your goal here? Obviously, it seems with people like this, it's, well, they're not going to win you over to their side. They're going to, they just want to troll or cause chaos. Which I would say, unfortunately for them, probably brings more chaos to their life. Like, it's just kind of funny or at worst annoying. But what about the person who's engaged in these things? Like, isn't it kind of sad for them that doesn't get you closer to the good life well-being and like I just don't get, like, it's a time waste that's actually has negative consequences in your own life. But people are suckers for abuse. They just seem to like chaos in their own lives and destruction. So, what should we do? What say you with this guy? What's the votes? Let's see. Yeah, 100% yes. And by the way, blocking doesn't mean that the person got to you. I love blocking. Yeah, fruit can be... Yeah, honeydew is good. Have you ever seen... Have you ever seen people drink like this? I was joking. Like, I was playing music. Bluegrass last night. I was joking with the bartender. Funny dude. About, like, cops and getting your... When they ask you for your wallet. And... Yeah, like, the best way when you get pulled over, he says... when the officer asks for your ID, to be like, yeah, I've got it right here. Oh, you want my ID? Here. Supposing my bag of Kleenex was a wallet. Sure. Let me get the wallet just right. I was dying. I was laughing so I'm like, I haven't seen that one before. I thought that was hilarious. All right, so somebody put a no in here. Let's see. 6% say no. We have 16 votes, 17 votes. Let's get up to 20. And then we'll end the poll. Okay, we got 18. We're still at 94%. Yeah, that's classic. Just get under the real fast jerky motion under the seat is another classic. Don't do it. It's a joke. That's the problem. You have to now explain jokes because people don't understand satire anymore, or comedy, I guess. So my wife always says that your humor is too dry and sarcastic. You got to be careful. Oh, really? Oh, do I? It's true, though. So nobody do that. Disclaimer, it's a joke. It's a funny joke. It'd be deadly if you actually tried to do something like that. So that being said, okay, votes are in. End poll. 90% say yes, 10% say no. Okay, end poll. Thank you, guys. The chat has spoken. Rome has spoken. All right, where's this dude? Yes. And there's a weird rush of endorphins and weird kind of pleasure that somehow comes from blocking people. Not only does it help manage your life, as I've talked to Jay before, seems to me that the block option and being quick on the trigger of the block, is that right? Trigger finger, the block, quick on the trigger block finger, has brought more kind of peace to our lives than you could ever imagine. Bye-bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye. All right. Back to something interesting I wanted to bring up. Now, I heard William Albright bring up this objection, but I don't remember if I heard Dr. Trent Doherty. This. Please tell me this guy doesn't follow me too. Yeah, okay. So that makes a little bit more sense. So this guy thinks this is some great argument, and I've seen it. It's just Reddit here. You claim the church is your norm of authority, yet all your patriarchs and many of your saints affirm you worship the same God as Muslims. Why don't you submit to the norm of authority? Ooh, own. Roman Catholics just cannot seem to get Orthodox ecclesiology. They're so brainwashed in papacy that they, again, what is, I believe it's attributed to Aristotle, the mark of an intelligent man is to be able to consider the other position without adopting. Like, they can't do that for some reason. Normative authority is not a patriarch. Certainly a patriarchal opinion or statement. Not all patriarchs, and I haven't seen any saints. Like, notice crickets here. Nobody. What has normative authority are councils and synods. There is no council or synod on this issue. That what you do have, and for various reasons, I think, typically, I'm not even convinced the, like, Patriarch Kirill and others who might have said this, actually believe it. Keep in mind, is a official state religion. There might be social kind of reasons to kind of, say those sorts of things, especially in Russia. I'm not saying it's right, but again, that's kind of more political talk in terms of the cohesion of one society and peace and stuff like that they might say. At best, it's a personal opinion. I've never seen anybody say that's dogmatic and that's the dogma of the church. And again, they don't understand. It just shows you they don't understand Orthodox ecclesiology. Saints, bishops, and priests, and even saints can be wrong about stuff. Normative authority and dogma does not rest on one person. So notice, because they're so programmed into thinking dogma rests on one person, that if they see a priest, if they see something on, and oftentimes on some of these diocesan their websites post an article, it's not even written by a priest. Like, so oftentimes it's laity that they'll have put some, article or something like that of some theologumen or personal opinion, that's not binding. It's not dogma. They can be wrong about that. Right? What's binding are synods and councils. There is no such thing that states that. That's not to be Protestant. The problem is, if you took that type of ecclesiology and way, you get exactly this. So even assuming it's a majority, which it isn't, these are just stupid claims, then you would be an Arian. Congratulations. As this person points out. So, terrible argument. That's not an own. That's an own on you. Congratulations, you then would be an Arian. And, we look throughout history, other heresies as well. So, it's just cheap, too. It's just low tier. Yeah, they cannot understand autocephaly. And then yet, interesting enough, the Pope's playing, oh, that's not dogma. He's not speaking on faith and morals, even though he's speaking on faith and morals. So it's not binding, right? They do this all the time. The other thing that's really strange, too, is just the general ignorance that some of these Roman Catholic apologists even have of their own theology. Well, that's not ex cathedra. They're so focused on infallibility in ex cathedra. And as I responded to somebody, I'm like, so that's literally the only thing that's actually binding is like, then you have a pretty weak, how many, nobody can even figure this out, by the way. So much for providing clarity. How many ex cathedra statements throughout the history of the papacy there have been? 7? Some people say 12? 14? How would you even figure that out? So that's all there is to Roman Catholic theology. But they're just incorrect about that, too. Infallibility doesn't just apply to extraordinary magisterium, but ordinary magisterium as well. It's dogma. It's binding. And what does it say in Dictatus Papae? No man can be the judge of the first see. So you can't actually say, that doesn't count. That's not faith and morals. But you can't. So you don't like it, and then what do? You're now all of a sudden you're a Protestant. You are the thing that you're accusing us of being. Isn't that kind of ironic? No, I think it's not wrong to make an argument for orthodoxy from pragmatism. It is very pragmatic. It's not reducible to pragmatism. But, I make that argument all the time that rather than a abstract, theoretical kind of system of dogmas and propositions, it's a life. And life is pragmatic. It's rather than a courtroom, it's a better analogy is a hospital, a rehab. And if you work the steps, you can be healed. That's very pragmatic. Like, remember what Christ says, do you want to be healed? He's offering a pragmatic program, not a series of true propositions. A system or philosophy isn't going to heal or save you. It's literally, as Father Russell says, a fantasy between your two ears. It has, and this is what, I feel Roman Catholicism really has become, is an abstract, ethereal kind of theological Dungeons and Dragons game. Doesn't relate to, and it doesn't even match what's on the ground. has no bearing, doesn't do anything, just the opposite of what it claims. And so there's real truth in that. It's just meaningless. You can't separate these things: truth, love, life, right? They go together. If you pull anyone, then it's not true. If it's just an abstract proposition, it's not true. Truth is a person, you see. It's Jesus Christ. So yeah, I think that's a great... Let's see if we have any more super chats. I want to bring up another thing kind of related to this too. I've seen this question. Oh, Jay, you're live? Jim Bomb and Jay's live. Well, they didn't authorize that. With the gatekeeper. I am your gatekeeper, you see. I love that accusation against me. I'm just going to lean into it. I'm just a gatekeeper. Yeah. Gatekeeping since I was 5 years old, son. Why is gatekeeping so based? Today in this stream, we will be discussing the metaphysics of gatekeeping. Hey, Matushka? Catherine's at St. Catherine's Monastery in Sinai. She has a question for you. You can respond. Isn't it cool? Of our parishioners there. Yeah, it's a training ground.
It wasn't a question for me, it was for you.
Oh. Well, it involves you, and you would know how to answer that better than me. Can you write her back? Isn't that nice of her? Aren't our parishioners the best? Thank you.
I didn't send it. Maybe you can add a little hello.
All right. Back to what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so there's a question that came up in the Discord. Comes up a lot. And I just found it interesting. An interesting topic to think about. How many times have I heard, what's the Orthodox theory of truth? What epistemic theory does Orthodoxy ascribe to? I hear this over and over, whatever theory it may be. And I thought about this, that's really interesting. It reveals something. It reveals kind of a really kind of Western mindset. And I don't mean... I always like to qualify that because my identity is Western, right? I'm a European, Norwegian, Irish, Scottish, British, right? Got my 23andMe. No, Ancestry. I was going to make a joke. Sent my DNA off to 21andMe and it came back, I am retarded. Bad news, guys. I shouldn't be teaching philosophy, sent my DNA into 21Me, and bad news, I'm retarded. I fooled myself. I thought no. I sent it off to Ancestry.com. People were like, don't do that. It's like, they already have my DNA. Like, look, they've already got it. I don't want to get into the story, but they... All right. So, anyways, I don't mean the culture, European culture that is part of my identity and ethnicity or something like that. Everybody has reasons to be proud of whatever their, ethnic, historic background, even though that obviously was, a lot of that area was Protestant and Roman Catholic. What I'm talking about, or even Western culture, European culture and art, architecture, like a lot of great stuff about, like, that's fantastic. It's really strange for anybody to look at the history of Europe and just be like, this is awful. This is ugly. And no, there's a lot of great things. Now, of course, there's, with anything, there's bad things mixed in. No kind of history or culture is kind of perfect and immune from negative things and influences and stuff like that. I'm just qualifying. What I mean by Western is a philosophical thought experiment that occurred in history, kind of mindset. And we call it Western because it came out of the geographical location of the West. An Eastern kind of mindset is different from that. So, with that being said, the Western mindset of kind of rational... First of all, I would say this is rooted in kind of Greek ontology and metaphysics. Like the errors that you see that occur in the West, in which we would call the Western kind of thought experiment, are rooted ultimately in Greek metaphysics and Greek essentialism, the one and the many problem, that one and being, that one is perfect, right? Impersonalization, these various things. And so when you start to study the history of philosophy and you start saying, I don't always like to quote Aquinas, but it is a good quote. Aquinas says, a small error in the beginning becomes a big error in the end. That's so true. It's like these things lead to, there's a logical, historical kind of lineage and history that progresses, right? It's not random that these things happen. When you study history of philosophy, you can start to make these connections of where do we get this idea of kind of rationalism and abstractionism, and one of the themes of modernity is mechanization, an obsession with quantification, quantifying everything, formulaic, right? You see this in Descartes, and that dominates from the father of modernity, Descartes, all the way up to today. And to systematize, to make formula, everything's like that's... So what's interesting is in the East, it's the eminent, it's, we're incarnational, it's the immediate, and that doesn't make us empiricists, by the way, that's the most real. The abstract, you abstract to kind of concepts and ideas and stuff like this and build systems, obviously is removed from that. So modernity kind of flips that, where the systems, the idealization and rationalism, the propositions are more real than the person. The immediate, the incarnational kind of immediate experience of... And so I think these questions kind of reveal a Western kind of modern mindset that when we ask, what's the Orthodox theory on truth or knowledge or something like this, it's a very kind of Western modern way of thinking about. Orthodoxy is not a system. It's not a philosophy. It doesn't ascribe to any theory, philosophical theory. It transcends it. It's a life. And first and foremost, it's a person. It's Jesus Christ. So notice person first, the immediate experience. To say that knowledge for the modern and the Western person is an abstract proposition, right? It's actually less real than that which is derived. And so they invert the reality. The less real becomes more real, and the more real becomes less real. And it's anti-incarnational, and in some sense anti-Christological too, because what is most real is the person, right? The Trinity. The second person, that's why I said I love the famous exchange between St. Augustine and St. Ambrose. When Augustine has this kind of very Western mindset about like what is truth and, you know, gives some philosophical answer. And St. Ambrose says, no, Augustine, truth is a person. Amen. I love St. Ambrose. I love St. Augustine too, you know, even if he got some stuff wrong. But he brought home to know somebody. When it says in the Bible, he knew her, right? That's an intimate, it's not he read her resume. It's like they, forgive my language, they knocked boots. Like they intimately knew them, so, you know. And so that kind of immediacy, that face-to-face experience of the person is what knowledge is. That's what reality is. The universe was made and created through the persons of Jesus Christ, not, right, Greek essence. And I had a conversation with Dr. Gerby yesterday, and it was really amazing. It was a conversation between, I can't remember the other person, but the other one was Porphyry. And Porphyry had said, the question is not what is God, but if God is Lord. And I'm like, wow, that's... Notice the word Lord is personal. It's not abstract. Like an essence can't be Lord. An object can't be... That's a person. And that's a personal... And it's relational too. That means you lord over something. You're ruler. That implies a personal relationship between... I'm like, that's a really profound thought. Remember what it says in Scripture, God is the Lord who has revealed himself to us. He's not a monadic essence, right, that just sustains the world. He's the Lord. He's a person. And so that's reality. That's what holds and sustains all of reality. To know is to know not in a philosophic sense, but in an intimate sense, in a personal sense. And so it's really interesting to say that that's what Orthodoxy is. It's personal, it's experiential, it's incarnational, it's Trinitarian, it's all these things. It's not a system, it's not a philosophy. Now, of course, we can make true propositions. We can write books and have Orthodox dogmatic theology, but that's really emergent or supervenient upon what is actually real. Our faith is not a philosophy system or a group of propositions. It's a person. It's Jesus Christ. His death and resurrection, all these things. And so it transcends any philosophies. It can't be reduced to it. Person first, Jesus Christ first, philosophy, systems, and propositions second. They're only true in as much as what is true, Christ, is true in his life. So for somebody to ask these questions reveals where they're coming from in their mindset. There is no epistemological system or philosophy of orthodoxy. It transcends it. It is the truth. Therefore, any of these systems, and every philosophy at some level, person says stuff that's true, is only true in as much as it corresponds with reality. So, orthodoxy does not have a theory of truth, an epistemological theory. Do you get it? And I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to actually make those kind of observations and comments. And what's really interesting, I'm going to give this lecture again. It came up in philosophy science. What is a law of nature? Fantastic question and exploration into this. And it just shows you, first of all these people claiming science says, like, have no idea what they're talking about. You know what? I'm at the point where if you haven't taken at least one class on philosophy science, I'm never going to engage with somebody that tells me something about science. I'm just going to be like, you go educate yourself and do the work before you start talking about science. Because you don't know what you're talking about. And you're not going to weaponize that word against me. Would you let a 5-year-old lecture you on science? So I'm gonna gatekeep. I'm gonna lean into my gatekeeping and be like, you're not in a position to tell me anything about science. And we're gonna lock you up in logical police jail. You have lost your logical driver's license to be able to speak, and it's been revoked. It's been suspended until you can learn to grow up and say something that at least resembles some bit of coherence and logical consistency. You don't get to talk to me anymore. How about that? Okay, a law is not correlation. That's the first thing we learn. It's not simply observing events that are correlated in a regular way. Okay? So it has to be causal, right? What do we always hear? Correlation is not causation. Okay. But it's not just causal either. It's not two events or things related in a causal way either. But in a logical way as well. Because remember, a law is a formula, right? That would be true under the defined... there's a causal and logical relation too. Otherwise, you just have what? Accidental causality, right? So there's got to be a logical relation as well as causal. Well, it gets even worse than that in science. Because science has to have laws, correct? So then the question comes up in the philosophy of science, well, where do they exist? You say the laws of science. Well, science is also based on observation and observational laws as well. Right? It's empirical. You could even define science is the discipline that discovers or discusses natural causes for natural phenomenon. So there is not a metaphysical naturalism, but what we call a methodological naturalism. It's defined in a particular subject matter. It's not studying abstract numbers, although it uses mathematics. Its subject matter is empirical phenomena and nature. That's why physis, nature, that's where we get the word physics from. Okay, so we defined what it studies. And it's certainly not studying non-natural or supernatural causes of natural phenomena. That moves it into metaphysics, what is beyond or after the physical considerations. It is natural causes for natural phenomenon. Okay. So it discusses things like laws, observational data, right? Observational laws and stuff like that. So are the laws in nature? Then you find out, no, they're not. So the law of gravity does not actually exist in nature. Okay? Nothing actually behaves according to a law. Isn't this interesting? You can't find it in nature. Well, what is it? It's an idealization. It's basically like, well, if we didn't, if it was, we were in a vacuum or in a perfect, conceived model in my head, this is how an object, if I removed all the variables of nature and the empirical factors, this is how an object would act, but never acts that way. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, again, it gives us a kind of model and template to kind of order what is chaotic, right? The order, the model, the template, the law, though, doesn't exist. It's in your mind. It is a way, in some sense, as an abstract fiction. It has connection to reality in the sense of you're abstracting from the real, but it's not there. It's that by which you create an abstract kind of model or law and an idealized thing that will never exist in the physical world to help you kind of understand the world. It makes it what it would be unintelligible, intelligible. So I find it hilarious that science says, it's like the game Simon Says, science, it's like, that just ignores the problem. First of all, you do know that science can't even get the knowledge. It has the problem of induction, has the problem of the underdetermination of the theory of the underdetermination data theory. You got multiple contradicting models that all fit. And then part of the thing that you want in science too is the model or laws to fit the observation, even though it never perfectly matches, to avoid anomalies, as much as possible and these different things. But it never actually gets you knowledge. And so to weaponize that word and be like, well, science says the majority of first of all, science truth can't change. Scientific opinion is not some abstract thing that's immutable and immune from sociological, political factors and biases and ideologies and philosophies. So that's stupid to actually, and even if I grant you that it's immune from that, and the political kind of and corporate kind of corruption that we see that occurs in it, it never gets you to knowledge. In fact, just go read up on the problem of induction before you start lecturing me on science says. How many terrible things has science done that you're like, well, that's junk science? That by that standard, if you were in that time, because science says you would actually promote. So you just refuted yourself. Congratulations. And again, I can get science to say whatever I want. It's like statistics. And if you don't have, a couple courses at least, let alone a degree in the philosophy of science, you're not going to be able to tell me what's good science versus bad science. So why am I going to sit here and let a child who doesn't know anything correct me and lecture me on science? Ain't happen on my watch, dude. All right, let's see if we have any more super chats. No, nobody's giving super chats. I got a weird frog in my throat. It's been in the morning I get that. Do you guys get that? The phlegm throat? Frog in my throat. Look what I do have a Ricola. I like Ricolas. Some people aren't a fan. Wife's cleaning. God bless her heart. PayPal Pope. At the very least, I just wish people would take some of these courses you brought up, like mathematics or philosophy and mathematics, just to realize that these things are quite complicated. Like, you know what these people are? They're incorrigible. Incapable of being taught, which is a vice. They're so no self-awareness. If you think you're right all the time, you can't be taught. All right. Somebody said they read my Orthodox theory, knowledge, epistemology. By the way, what's going to be the most relevant for you to read is going to be, was that the one? Let me look. An Orthodox critique of natural theology. Then you have people like Thomas, who correctly points out, and I think Thomas, that's because you due to certain virtues that you may have, that you don't even have to be. It's not a necessary condition that you actually even have to study this to realize that, like, how limited science is. Like, but if you have vices, like you're a narcissist, sociopath, you're incorrigible, then you can't see it. That's why we always argue, of the systems we could, of different philosophies and ethics and stuff, we could say this one's closer to what Orthodoxy teaches. And with regards to this, in particular, I would say, yeah, Orthodoxy has something very close to what would secular philosophy, ethics, we'd call, or epistemology, virtue epistemology. The reason why you're so dumb and keep using this phrase, science says, the majority of science, and it's what's hilarious is when these people say this, it's never the majority of scientists. Like, so again, these people are misanthropes. They hate truth. They're demonic. Right? They don't care if something's true or if the argument's good or bad. They're narcissistic sociopaths and Machiavellian. They hate themselves and the world. They hate truth, beauty, and goodness, the transcendentals. And they don't care if they're logically consistent or if they're false. They're they're going to try to weaponize these words. Oh, the majority of scientists say, even if it's true, they don't care if it's not true. They're trying to manipulate you, and it's demonic. And so, this is why you don't, after you figure this out, you don't engage with these sorts of people. Again, always think about, what is my end game? What's the goal? And is this going to bring it about? Like, if, what was the scripture we read? Was Monday, I believe, don't throw your pearls at swine. Like, if they're going to trample over the good things in life, arguments, and and think about that too. A sociopathic narcissist has no respect for persons. And notice that they'll use the words tolerance and love, don't they? Don't they use the... Right? To hide their crime and sin of what they're actually doing. Like, they hate you. And they want to manipulate and control you. They're tyrants. In the truest sense of the word. And they try to hide that behind language. So, language for them is not to communicate information, but to control and dominate. This is a product kind of postmodernity, specifically with Frankfurt School kind of ideas and stuff like that. And so, why would you further engage with somebody, just like this guy we blocked on? Why am I going to give you an answer and do what you're asking me to do if you're being a swine? If you're disrespectful, or if you're incorrigible, or if you're a narcissist sociopath. Like, why would I wait? Like, once you figure that out, don't talk to these people. Give yourself peace. Anyways, the article, if I can find it. That you should read. Where's my academia.edu? I'm going to put it in the... It wasn't even that long ago. I was just asking somebody, was it a priest I was talking to yesterday? It was like, when was I in Greece? Like 4 years? And they were like, no, it was like 2 years ago. I'm like, it's only been 2 years? Because this is the paper I presented to Richard Schwinburne critiquing his kind of position when we were in Greece at the IOTA conference. There. That's the one you want to read. They'll be relevant to... Still no super chats. Do I have to play music for you to get you to send some super chats? Yeah, I enjoyed Gerda Bach. It's been a while since I read that, but I was probably a lot of your age as a lot of you people on the chat. I was young when I read. I was probably like 19 or 20 when. Alright, I got it. I'm just warming up. Check out this little jig right here. I don't know any of the songs. Da 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 da. Dee dee doo dee 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 dee. You stole me Lucky Charms. Dee 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 dee. Da dee dee da dee. Da 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 dee 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 dee. You stole me Lucky Charms. Now I'm very very mad. Da 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 dee da. I gotta remember how that goes, that lick. Bill Monroe's Kentucky Mandolin in G minor. That's a G. I got a pig in a pan, going to feed him wrong. Every time. How's the lyrics go on that? Bake 'em biscuits, baby. Bake 'em good and brown. We'll be Alabama bound. I saw the super chat and I got thrown off. Thank you, Dale. It's $10 each one. Whoops, I missed it. Schlamp, 1999. Thank you so much. Thank you, Father Deacon. My 23andMe also stated I was Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, Medellin style. Peaches in the summertime, apple in the fall. If I don't have the girl I want, don't want none at all. Shady to go, my little love, shady to go, I say. Shady to go, my little love, I'm bound to go away. Wish I had a banjo string made of golden twine. Every tune I played on it, I wish that a girl was mine. Shady grove, my little love, shady grove, I say. Shady grove, my little love, bound to go away. I gotta remember the next lyric. It goes, some come here to fiddle in, some come here to fiddle in, some come here to fiddle in, some come here to tarry, some come here to fiddle and dance, and I came here to marry. Shady grove, my little love, shady grove, I say. Shady grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. Every time I come home, wife, I try to please her. The more I try, the worse she gets. Damn it, if I don't leave her. Shady grove, my little love, shady grove, I say. Shady grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. Something like that. I need a metronome. I love like when the bass player, we had the stand-up bass last night. It just like, keep the timing. It's so much better. Ooh, ah. Should I get the guitar out? I'm going to get going pretty soon. Oh, what's another song that I was singing the mandolin? Check it out. Montanica swag bag. For those of you who came, got that with our sponsor, Distinctly Montana, and Montanica notebook and pen. Isn't that cool? I want to thank our sponsor for that, for sure. Oh no, did this thing break? Oh well. Right, that goes in there. This goes here. Please tell me I didn't lose my capo. Let's go way down. Now. If you miss the train I'm on, then you know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100 miles. Something like that. Lord, I'm one. Lord, I'm two. Lord, I'm three. Lord, I'm four. Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home. 100 miles, 500 miles. I'm low, I'm 500 miles away from home. I remember the next lyrics. Not a shirt on my back, not a penny to my name. Lord, I can go on home that same way. That same way, that same way, that same way. Lord, I can go on home that same way. If you miss that train I'm on, then you know that I am gone. Lord, can you hear the whistle blow 100 miles? 100 miles, so 100 miles. You can hear that whistle blow 100 miles. Oh, ain't that sweet? Don't play that song, Paul. Make me cry. Okay, let's see. Babe. Yeah, that's it. I think I remember this. Oh, ain't no use in sitting. Ain't no use in sitting and wonder why, baby. In case you don't know by now, why it ain't no use in sitting and wonder why, baby. I never knew somehow. So when the rooster goes at the break of dawn, got window and then I'll be gone. Oh, you're the reason why I'm traveling on. No, don't think twice, it's alright. Oh, it ain't no use in turning on your light, baby. Oh, ain't no use in turning on your light, baby. I'm on another side of the road. Well, I wish there was something you could do or say. Then try to make me change in my mind and stay. Why we didn't do too much talking anyway, but don't think twice, it's alright. Why ain't no use in calling out my name, gal? Well, I've never done before. Why ain't no use in calling out my name, gal? Loved a woman, a child I'm told. I give her my heart, but she won my soul. Well, I don't think twice, it's alright. Well, so long, pretty baby. Well, I'm bound, I can't tell. Well, goodbye's too good a word, baby. So I just say you mine. Well, you kinda wasted my precious time. But I don't think twice, it's alright. Alright, what's another song we can do? Well, I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine than to be in some big city with a girl on my mind. Or I might get the lyrics up for this because I can't remember it. What other be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine than to be in knowing that you're gone would cause me to lose my mind. Well, blow your whistle, freight train, and carry me on down that track. Well, I'm going away, well, I'm leaving today. Well, I'm going, but I ain't coming back. And it goes. Whether be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine than to be in some big city in a small room with you on my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, on down that track. I'm going away, well, I'm leaving today. Well, I'm going, but I ain't coming back. So blow your whistle, freight train, turn me down on that track. I'm going away, well, I'm leaving today. Well, I'm going, but I ain't coming back. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. Well, I'm going, but I ain't coming back. Where do I want to put this? What key? I think I want to do it this way. Summertime and the living's easy. Your dad is rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush now, baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing hymn, and you'll spread your wings and take to the sky. But till that morning, then nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mama who'll standing by. Something like that. Where's my pick? That's what I'm looking for. That would help. Yeah, doo-doo. Ah. Summertime and the living is easy. Your dad, the catfish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your dad is rich, and your mama's good looking, bop doo dee. So hush now, baby, don't you cry. Doo doo daddy dee. That one's a cool one. Sugar magnolia blossoms are blooming, heads are empty, I don't care. Saw my baby down by the river. I can't remember this. Saw my baby down the river. Knew she had to come soon for. Magnolia blossoms bloom, heads are named and I don't get it. Saw my baby down by the river. Shoot, what's the next song? Saw my baby down by the river. You shed a crimson forehead. Takamine. What was another song I was thinking about the other day? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Uh-huh. It's driving me crazy. I can't remember this. What in the world? I want this song and I can't remember. It wasn't the Everly Brothers. It was Watch this. So it goes. So it's just kind of hard, huh? Especially when you get it up faster. Right, almost pack it up. I think that's about it for today. Gun, yo. And then the bass is like boom, boom. Alright, guys. That's about it. Yeah, jazz. Nope. No illustrative tag analogy. Sorry.
If you can't get tagged now, you'll never. What about the tag of the illustrative analogy? Analogy. Ooh, ba ba da da now. Ooh, ba 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 bow. Wow, wow, wow. Ba ba da ba 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 doo da natural deducting of the transcendental categories. Wah, 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 wah. If you cannot get the tag, that's not my fault. No, it's not. It's so simple. You got a brainwashed mind. I can't help you. Cannot help you. I cannot help you, man. Man, no. Boo, boo, da 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 da. Boo, ba 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 ba, ba ba ba, ba ba ba, ba ba. Ba da da ba 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 da da ba 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 ba. Ba da da ba 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 da da ba 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 ba.
Yep, you got it. Joe Beam.
Teaching that the bossa nova, I can't understand why you can't grasp it. Ah, da 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 ba da. It's so clear that I can't stand it as every tag reductive argument that I give. Says
I feel like I'm yes. Prog rock. Doesn't it sound like prog rock? Do you know that one? And then you can come up. What's really cool if you have a second guitar, you can come up a fifth and play. So bum 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 bum. That's Allman Brothers. And why am I blanking on this song of the? Do you know what's crazy? Playing so many songs, I've actually gotten dinged. Why can't I remember? It's not Melissa. It's bum bum bum. All right. Excuse me. Thank you so much for your super chats. For I forgot to give a shout out yesterday. My tube during 999 advice on a touchy subject and move. Oh, I already gave that. Yeah. Today, Dave the Philippian. Thank you so much. Dell donates $2. Noah Strong 20. Dale just $10 and Schlump $19.99. Thank you so much. God bless all of you guys. Thank you for listening to my terrible music and having fun on this Wednesday, June 25th. And until next time, I won't see you tomorrow. I've got an early, obviously, doctor's appointment with the orthopedic with my ankle. It's doing much better. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. And till next time, God bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.